Hi everybody, I'm Herrick Kimball, and today I want to tell you about an old saw. It's my old saw. It's the saw that I purchased when I first started out in the building trades back in 1980. And this was a major purchase for me back in 1980. It was the first serious power tool that I bought, and this is it. It's a Rockwell 315-1 Type 2, 7¼ inch saw. It's what we call a sidewinder as opposed to a worm drive saw. And this saw and me have been together for a long time. A few years ago, it broke. I can't remember what happened, but the spring broke and then there's a broken part up here. I ended up buying a rigid saw like this model here. R3200. I think I bought it at Lowe's or Home Depot. It's a fine saw. But this is a remarkable saw. And back in the old days, when I bought this saw, it cost me just a little over $100. Now I went to an inflation calculator online and I plugged in $100 in 1980. That's the equivalent, due to inflation, of buying a saw today for like $305. So this was a big deal for me. I didn't have a whole lot of money, and but I wanted a good saw. And my boss said, yeah, we were together. We were at a place where they sold tools, and I said, this looks like a good saw, and he said, that is a good saw. He had an older version of a Porter cable. This is very similar to a Porter cable. In fact, I think Rockwell bought Porter cable, or Porter cable bought Rockwell, I don't know. This saw had right here, you see this thing right here? It's a grease cup. You would fill this with grease, and see the grease in there? And then you would twist that in to keep this saw lubricated. It also required 2 wrenches in order to get the blade changed. Saws today are a lot more convenient to use. This one had a large base. See how big that base is? That's ideal for general purpose work, cutting plywood and stuff like that. I could have gotten a worm drive saw. I didn't get one. I'm glad I didn't. Now, in retrospect, I've used worm drives. They're great for framing, but this is more of a general purpose, all-purpose saw, this sidewinder style. I'm going to restore this, I've decided. I'm going to get the parts I need. I'm going to clean it up. You know, some people, they restore cars or they restore houses. I can't afford any of that, but maybe I can restore my old saw. I want to show you something here. Oh, the depth still works nicely. The bevel still works nicely. This is a beat up saw. It's been dropped. It's been used. It's gone miles and miles. Let's see if you can see these marks up here, all along here. Maybe you can see those. Hopefully you can. And those are from clamping vice grips onto the front of the saw for ripping boards or plywood. Instead of using a gauge or a rip guide, I would get the saw started, then clamp on vice grips to ride against the material. Hey, that's it. It's a good old saw. It's a saw I love still, even though I can't use it. When it broke, I went and bought this rigid. No complaints on the rigid, but I love this Rockwell. And my son, who's about the age that I was when I bought my first saw, recently bought a cordless Milwaukee. He's buying all cordless tools because he says, I don't know how you manage to work with those power cords in the way all the time, having to have extension cords and all of that. And that's kind of funny that I used to think when I was in the trades that I don't know how people who didn't have power tools managed to get anything done. So times have changed. I like his Milwaukee cordless drill. I like, saw, circular saw. I like it a lot. 7 1/4-inch circular saw, but I don't know. 38 years later, is it still going to be usable? Is it still going to be a good saw? Time will tell. Thanks for watching, everybody.